So you mentioned that you are at Fortivity.
Yes.
And you've been there for 4 years?
Yep, almost.
What's Fortivity about?
We do outsourced accounting, HR, and payroll for other small businesses.
So then, are you an accountant?
I am.
And that's what you got your degree in?
Yes.
Where'd you go to college? KU. There you go.
Rock Chalk.
I knew I liked you for a reason. No, I'm kidding. So then, what about accounting did you like? And I wanted to pursue accounting.
I've always loved numbers. My mom was an English teacher. I always hated words. So it's kind of funny, but numbers was always my thing. It was always what I was good at, and just kind of started down that path, and doors opened. So just kind of kept going.
So I went to KU as well and got my degree in business. Accounting 1 was good. Accounting 2 was not so good. It's funny because after you go through those classes, it's it's hard to put it into practical terms until
you use it.
You run a business. Then all of a sudden, now 10 years later, all of those things that they were talking about make sense.
We have an intern right now, and he was saying that. He's like, it's so cool to be able to understand my classes better because he has real life examples of what they're learning in class.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such a difference when you go from theory to application. Yeah. Did you have to do tax too?
I took a tax class. It was the hardest class I ever took in my whole entire life. I did not go down that route.
Isn't that funny? I mean, should it be like that? Why is our tax code the worst class ever, right? That you have to take a class for it.
Yes. It was Professor Ford. I still remember. It was the very last final I ever took at KU.
Yeah. So you work full time?
Yes.
Nice. How many kids do you guys have?
2. 13-year-old and a 9-year-old.
So then, how did you first hear about KOMA?
Facebook scrolling. So, just Facebook scrolling one night. And I am also a Girl Scout leader for my youngest troop. And an ad popped up that KOMA did Scout meetings. And I was like, whoa, I need to find out more about this because our troop, the girls, they have so much energy, and I'm constantly looking for things. And free was huge because everything when it comes to Scout stuff is how many boxes of cookies do I have to sell in order to do whatever activity. So that's what got us in the door. Mm-hmm. And I think most of our girls were at that event, and it was awesome watching them. I mean, it's, they're all 8, 9 years old, and just how quickly they just get in the groove and stand up straight and listen to the teachers. And it was really fun to watch.
This is at our newest location in
Yes.
Prairie Village.
Yes.
And that's obviously close to where you live.
It was basically across the street from their elementary school. So.
Oh, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Nice. So then what, was there anything specific about the Scout workshop that appealed to you that you liked?
The respect aspect, very quickly, just teaching that I think is huge. And just, it was just fun to watch the girls. And when we got home that night, I asked my daughter, I was like, would you want to keep doing this? And she's like, yeah. So, and Mrs. Crandall there had, there was a deal that we could come back, and I was like, let's do this. Let's try this. And Samantha loved it. And it was just fun watching her. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So why is respect important to you for your daughter?
Both my husband and I grew up with that yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and Mr. and Mrs. And we've always tried to teach that to our kids. But there's something about somebody else teaching your kids that it sinks in quicker. And Samantha has been really good. I'll say please go unload the dishwasher. Yes, ma'am. You need to clean up your room. Yes, ma'am. And every time she does it, I'm like, okay, act cool. Like, don't ruin the moment. But it's always really exciting. And the more we go to KOMA, like, just the more natural it is for her. And I know it just, people take notice. And I want my girls to respect their elders, respect their peers too. And I just think showing that respect to others is huge.
And you grew up around here?
I did not.
Where'd you grow up?
So I never know how to answer this question. I went to elementary school in South Carolina, middle school in Lawrence, and then high school in Southwest Kansas.
So then originally your parents are from South Carolina?
No, they're from the Wichita area.
So they're Midwest.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm asking is because my wife is from Georgia. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am is an absolute. There's no way around that. Everybody does that, right? So that's why it's even more surprising your parents raised you like that, because I think in the Midwest it's not as common.
And I noticed that when I lived in South Carolina, I never called my friends my friends' parents by their first names. And then we moved to Lawrence, and grown-ups were like, oh, call me Lisa. Oh, call me Jerry. And I'm like, no. I was so uncomfortable with it. And so now I always introduce, neighbors or friends, it's always Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so. And if they're fine with the kids calling them by their first name, that's fine. But I'm always starting with Mr. and Mrs. because that's how I was raised, and it's more comfortable for me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that kind of order is important. And specifically, if you just want to look at it in a practical way, that establishes who you can learn from. So when a child looks at an adult as a peer, they're not going to have the mindset, maybe I can learn from that person, right? But when you look at an adult as an adult who has more experience, more wisdom, and things that they can teach you, then I feel like you put yourself in a different disposition. It's like you present yourself a little bit differently, which then ultimately makes you more teachable. Because if you're respectful to somebody, if somebody's respectful to you, I don't know about you, I'm like, for me, I'm ready to teach them.
Right. Yes.
I'll give them everything. But then if they're not, it's like, it's hard. It's hard to teach somebody who's not being respectful. Yeah. So then what made you decide to give it a try? Is it just she really wanted to do it?
Yeah, she wanted to do it, and I was like, let's do it. And I'm all about, I want my girls to try new things and see what their thing is. We've done soccer, we've done softball, and nothing ever really fully stuck. And, I wanted to see maybe this is the thing that sticks for her.
What are her other interests?
Dance and gymnastics she loves gymnastics.
So she does gymnastics and KOMA.
Yes.
So she's already probably pretty flexible.
She could probably be a little bit more.
Every time
we have that conversation at home.
Every time I had students who also did dance and gymnastics, I was like, yes, I can get them to kick so high. It's just changing kind of the technique a little, because it's usually with dance and cheer, gymnastics, sorry, it's very stretchy. But then in Taekwondo, it's very snappy. So just trying to guide them to be able to do that. But oh my goodness, they always had amazing kicks when they did both. That's awesome. What about school? Does she have any favorite subjects, or is she like mom? She likes numbers?
She does. She loves math. She likes mom and dad to come up with math problems for her to solve. And so I finally broke down and just bought a math workbook, because I'm like, I couldn't keep coming up with math problems. It's like, here's a whole page.
What's dad do? What's your husband do?
He's a claims adjuster at Farmers.
So another a numbers guy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of our parents are numbers people. So engineers, And then we have accountants, and then we have IT people. So it's very structured type of people, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
I can see
KOMA is
that.
pretty structured.
Yes.
Yeah. I always thought that was interesting. What were your first impressions walking in to KOMA?
It was amazing. Watching the instructors with the kids, and a shout out to Mr. Grisbin. He is amazing with the little kids. And I was just kind of in awe. And I've told him, you know, like, just it's fun watching you with them because he can redirect them. He just does a good job. And then I found out he was the youngest. And I was like, what? You're the youngest in your family? I wouldn't have expected that. But it's fun. Like, you can tell the kids are having fun, but they're learning so much too. And that's what really impressed me is just watching, whether they're the tiny tots, you know, whether they're 3 years old up to, you know, some of the older kids, just, you know, when it's a minute before they're in line, and just, it was just really impressive to see.
How are the character projects going at home?
They're going good. I think sometimes we get a little behind, so we rush through them. But it's allowing us more conversations. Like the one we're working on right now had to do with nutrition, and especially right now, with it being summer, it's not just go eat a snack whenever you're hungry. It's like we're trying to structure and like making sure we're having a protein, we're having vegetables, and we're having that. So it definitely has helped, I think, Sam be able for us to have just more conversations.
Oh, I love that.
Coming to, again, it's nice when it's not always just coming from mom and dad. So
takes a village.
Yeah, it most definitely
does. If it makes you feel any better, my daughter, who's been here for almost 10 years now, and she's only 12. She started when she was 3. I still have to say, do I need to go talk to Mr. Gilroy about such whatever she's dealing with or not wanting to go to class? All right, let's go tell Mr. Gilroy. And then the yes or yes, ma'am. We still have to reinforce that at home. You'd think after how many years, but she's getting it here and she's saying it here. So
yes,
that reinforcement. But it does make me so happy that the character projects are at least sparking that conversation. That's the most important part of this.
Yes.
And a lot of times I've heard parents who are like, I didn't even think about that.
Well, I think we all get into autopilot.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, I'll think about doing that. And this kind of just puts it front of mind.
Life's busy.
Yeah.
Having 2 kids, it's not easy. And we just kind of get into routines.
Yep. Sometimes
we have to kind of examine our routines. But life is so busy, it's hard to stop and actually look at a routine, especially with snacking and some of the stuff our kids are eating. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I'm like, I'll read their nutrition. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this thing had 20 grams of sugar per serving, and he's eating like 3 of them. Yeah. Was your daughter facing any challenges before coming to KOMA?
3rd grade had a lot of girl drama. And I think all the girl moms would agree. I definitely had conversations with a lot of the moms, and we're all, trying to help our girls through that. And I think I remember talking to Mrs. Crandall about it too. And she had mentioned when she was a girl that Taekwondo was her safe place. And taking Sam, and it was different people at class and different girls too. There's been so many girls in Taekwondo, which I thought has been so cool. It's not just a boy thing. It is most definitely both sexes.
Oh yeah.
And just allowing her kind of another place to not have to deal with the drama, or to kind of help get out of that, to reassess and be able to come back to school the next day with a clear mind.
Mm-hmm. Girls are better than boys in Taekwondo. I can tell you right now. They're usually more flexible. They usually pay attention a little bit better. So out of the many years of teaching, the girls have been always very much easier to teach than the boys. Yes. And they always have the best looking form. So That is definitely something that I, as the father of my daughter, have confidence in, is those friends she's making here. I don't even have to second guess about who they are because I know they're getting the same culture, the same feeding that my daughter's getting.
Mm-hmm.
We're all kind of under the same code, right? And if we're all part of KOMA, it's like, this is how we treat each other.
Yep.
And that's always been very assuring for me. A little different than people out there. I say out there like it's a different world, but at school, it's like, or even just friends outside of KOMA, you don't know. You don't know what's being taught at home. You don't know if there's a core value alignment. Yeah. Have you seen any changes in your daughter so far?
I feel like her confidence has grown. And I actually joined KOMA too. And what's been really cool about that, like us doing it together, is when we practice at home, her telling me like, Mom, you're doing that wrong. Let me show you. And we even got Big Sister to join, and we were practicing, and they were working on the form, and just little sister being able to tell Big Sister, like, you know, do this, now do that. And just having that confidence to know what, you can tell she knows what she's talking about, and having that confidence to teach somebody else. It's really cool. It's fun to see as a parent, just that confidence grow.
So your older daughter also joined.
She did.
She's 13?
She's 13. So my older daughter and I did the self-defense class. And after that, I was like, come on, let's do it for the summer. And so we got her in. And so now all three of us are doing it.
What other activities is or was she doing?
She does volleyball, track, violin, and piano. So she has a heavy plate.
She's a busy girl.
She is.
And then how about you? What else? Were you doing anything else for fitness, working out?
Personally, I run and lift weights.
So then how does this fit into all that?
It has helped me stretch more. Like that's always something that I need to do. And it puts it kind of front in mind. And so that definitely helps. And just, it's always a lot more fun to work out with other people. And all of the adults are so supportive of each other. And so it makes it fun. I don't even know if I feel like I'm working out. I mean, and I definitely leave sweating, like, but it's fun. And I look forward to going.
Yeah, the mobility is definitely something we're always trying to help our adults increase, because as we get older, we tend to get stiffer.
Yes.
Because we're sitting a lot. And if we're not using our body and stretching and really focusing on the mobility of our joints and muscle and all that, then it can turn out to be a bad situation. But you have a good combination of the running, and then the weight training is very important, resistance training. But then you also are getting sounds like you're getting the social part. Mm-hmm. I think people overlook this. Maybe they actually got woken up during COVID of how important social interaction is just for your overall general health.
I feel like you work harder when you're with somebody else, and or the accountability.
For me, it's always been competitive. I'm competitive. So if we're doing like kicking paddles, like I'm going to kick more than you. But also pushing each other is always fun too. So you guys are what, white belts now? Yellow belts?
Sam and I are yellow, and then Lily is a white belt.
Oh, nice. So then you guys are doing all the stripes together too.
Yes.
And you're doing the character project as well?
Yes.
How's that going?
I love it. It's, again, I think it puts different things front and center and makes you think about them and what can I do better for myself that I can turn and help my family with.
What a beautiful situation where now instead of saying, oh, yeah, you need to do that, you're doing it with her.
Yes. And
you're leading by example. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that just warms my heart because it's like leading by example is how we parent. Mm-hmm. And I was just talking to somebody else about this. It's easy to, not easy, but we can just say things to our kids, but to actually do them, at the same time or first, I think
huge.
is, that's most powerful. Yeah. Has KOMA helped you as a parent in any way?
Yes. I think being more present too, and having this that we're doing together, just getting to talk about it, the character projects, like just having that common thing that we can talk about, has, it's been great. And I've had so much fun since joining. I will say sometimes at class, I get distracted by Samantha because I'm just like, I'm watching her because it's fun to watch.
Yeah.
But it's cool to be like, not just sitting there on the sidelines watching, but they're doing it with her.
I love that. What do you think makes KOMA different from other activities, volleyball and basketball or any other sport?
One, it's really easy for parents to get involved. And I went to 3 classes with Sam before I joined. And it was kind of a funny story is there was another mom there with her son, never talked to her before in my life. And at the end of class, she just walked up to me and said, "You should join." And I was like, okay, well, where do I sign? Let's do this. And so it's, we're all driving our kids. Like when people ask, oh, what's new in your life? I'm like, I'm in my Uber phase. That's, I drive my kids everywhere. So now I'm driving them to KOMA, but I get to be active with them. And then I think team sports are great. Team sports are huge, but there is that individual aspect that I like too, that you are in control of how fast you progress. And I think that builds a lot of confidence. And, you can be ready for the belt assessment or you cannot. Like it's completely up to you. And I think, we all need that too, because once you get into the working world, a lot of it falls on you and you can do a great job or you cannot. And kind of building that now is important.
And you probably have to kind of deal with this I'm guessing you manage people.
I do.
How many people do you manage?
Well, right now I only manage 1.
Well, it's still 1. And you kind of have to manage them based on the result, right?
Right.
So then it's up to them, right? So then one of the things I've heard from a parent just last night was her 2 kids are doing volleyball and soccer. And both of the coaches told the mom, your kids are so coachable, teachable. And she's like, it's all because of KOMA. That is what makes me so happy because that is the mission here is I want to help our students become more teachable. Because if you're teachable, you are now going to be more successful when you're older because people are going to want to help you. But when you don't have I would say the skill set to be teachable, to be able to know when it's time to respect, you should respect all the time, but when it's time to be quiet, when it's time to be still, ask questions.
Yes.
If you need help, ask for help or try to figure it out yourself first, strengthen that muscle, but then eventually own that result. But then overall, it's like, be a sponge. And really be a sponge that people want to teach. That's a big difference too. But yeah, that's something that always warms my heart is when I hear that when kids are students of ours and they go to other sports, they're like, oh, they're easy to teach. I'm like, yes. How would you describe Mrs. Crandall?
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. I love her. She's just so welcoming and so nice, and she just makes you want to be there. And I mean, just from my very first experience when I was doing the scout and just, getting everybody to sign the waiver forms. And she was so helpful with that process and made it seamless. So when we got there, we weren't dealing with all this paperwork when we got there. It was like, girls, let's go. Let's do this. She's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about her.
And she's a manager at our Prairie Village location, and probably going to be a future owner because we're franchising now. So,
and she's an inspiration.
Yeah.
So when we were talking earlier about adults being stiff, I for sure am stiff, and I watch her do the different moves, and I'm like, man, like, I hope that I can be like her someday. Like, her kicks are phenomenal, and it's inspiring. And I'm like, okay, she's doing it. I want to do that too.
There you go. Leading by example. I love it. And then, how would you describe Mr. Grisbin?
Oh, he's so good with kids. So good. Samantha loves when she's in class with him. He has a way of, he demands the respect, but it's in such a kind way. And he keeps the kids on track. And, last night, Samantha and I were on a walk, and I said, what's your favorite thing about KOMA? And the first thing she said was kicks and punches. But then very quickly, she's like, no, the instructor isn't playing the games. And the last class, she was with me, and she's like, I'm going to go. And she got to choose like which group she was going with. She's like, I'm going with the younger kids next time because I want to play the game. But yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah, we've definitely learned, or especially I've learned over the many years of teaching, that the game, we got to have the game. It's like, we're not here to play around, but we got to have the game to keep them motivated and coming back. And that's something that we always try to do, is make sure that at the end of class that they're leaving with that smile on their face. Mm-hmm. That's so important.
I listened to your podcast when it was talking about your dad and how he was teaching and how you've changed kind of how you do things.
Yeah.
And I mean, we do have a different generation that being the super strict doesn't work with everyone. And I think with KOMA and the way you've structured things, there's both the respect, the strict, but the fun that keeps the kids coming back. And, not that Samantha wants to come every single time, right? Like, you're just tired sometimes, but that doesn't happen very often because she's like, oh, but I'm going to get to play the game. And, she's excited about it. Yeah. And it's, again, as a parent, I want the kids to have fun and learn and grow from it. And still, I still want that structure and that, like, you have to be hard on the kids sometimes, and that's fine. But not having it be so scary. Like, it's not scary.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought of it as you want to be hard on them, but you don't want to crush them.
That's the perfect way.
You want to, sometimes you got to break them down a little, but then immediately let's build back up. Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, you're right. My upbringing and how I was taught was very, very different than what you see today. And again, you're right. The reason why I modified my style of teaching is because it doesn't work with these kids. They wouldn't come back. And it's funny because my father, I just had him on the podcast, 2.5 hour long episode. So if you want to ever hear the whole history of how, from my instructor, then you can check it out. But he even realized that. He said he came here from Korea, opened a studio, started teaching American kids, and they all didn't come back. And he goes, oh, it's because they're not Korean kids. It's just different. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a different, today, it's like just a different generation. Mm-hmm. So your parents are pretty strict with you.
They were.
Was your father like military?
No, but both the grandparents' side was military. So they grew up military. And
so it got passed down to you. Mm-hmm. Got it. Yeah. So then when your daughter or daughters don't want to go to class, how do you handle that?
And it's, it's kind of with anything. We've signed up for this. We have committed to this. We are going to finish it out.
Yeah.
And that's usually the conversation that we have.
I love it. I always talk about the importance of exit ramps. Before you start anything, you got to set an exit ramp. When is that? Mm-hmm. You can't have infinity. That's not fair. Yeah. Right? You got to keep doing this forever. Even school. You got to get to graduation. After that, it's up to you. Right? But we're not quitting in the middle of, high school. We got to get the degree, or then you start college. Right. You got to get the degree. You got to start, get your associates, but we don't stop in the middle. And I think that is such an important life skill. Parents must teach their kids as early as possible. Mm-hmm. And it can be microdosing, right? It could be microdosing. All right, we're going to do the soccer season. You're not stopping until we're done with the season, right? Or even just for the week. Like, we're going to do this for the week. If you want to stop after the week, then we can stop after the week. But set that exit ramp so then they understand there's no giving up until we finish. Yeah, that is so important. If you could say one thing to another parent thinking about trying KOMA, they're on the fence, they're like, I saw the Facebook ad, and I know I can just try it, no commitment, no cost, but they're like, I don't know. What would you tell them?
Just do it. Just do it. Just get in the door. Watch the kids. Watch the other kids. Watch the other parents. And you'll know right away. Don't be afraid.
What was the difference between the perception you had when you saw us on social media than to when you walked in and experienced it?
Really, I knew nothing. So that kind of was nice. And I think I didn't necessarily have any expectations. But I was so blown away just at the Girl Scout meeting, just watching the girls. It was so cool to see how just respectful they got and how they, when it was time to be quiet, they were quiet. And I was like, man, I need to take some notes because they're capable of this. So I need to do this at meetings too.
I've heard that so many times. We need to have workshops like parenting workshop, or even like a troop leader workshop, or even if you're coaching a team, little things you can do to kind of get them in line. I think maybe some people would attend that, but
I would. I'm for all the pointers.
Nice. Mrs. King, thank you so much for coming on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.